Okay, this is democratic government, SST lesson number 6. India is the largest democracy in the world. It has a democratic form of governments. The government of India is of the people, by the people, and for the people. The legislature, the executive, and the judiciary are the three wings of the government. So here, what is democratic government? So democratic government, very simply to understand, means of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the government that supports or provides rights to all the people. So that is the meaning of democracy. Okay. So this is by the people, and this government is for the people, and also it is of the people. Okay. So these three main aspects are included in the democratic government, and it has three main wings. One is legislature, executive, and judicial. Okay, come down. We will learn it in detail. Okay, India is a vast country with 29 states and 7 union territory. Okay, and it has a power in the central government, which is in New Delhi, and moreover, and governments are also there in 29 states. Okay, and this is called a federal structure of governments, where power is divided between the central and state governments. Okay, as regards sharing the power of Constitution of India, the Constitution of India has three lists. Like India has 29 states and 7 union territories. Okay, and each state has its own governments. Okay, and there are some offices divided to the central and the state. Okay, that is called federal structure. Okay, and this is some kind of power division. Okay, to the central and the state government. So the main three areas are union list. It is a list of powers of union government. It includes area like defense, railway, and foreign affairs. So this is in the central area. Even though it works in the state level also, but the power is in the central. And state list. It is a list of power of the state. It includes areas like police, transport, and roads. Okay, and here in the state list, you find police, transport, roads. Okay. And the third one is concurrent list. It is a list of powers that are shared by the state and the union governments. It includes the areas where the two governments work together. For example, education and electricity. Okay. So this is something like administration areas. The powers are divided into three different categories. Like some, even though they work in both the central and state governments, they have a working area, but the powers are divided into three areas. Like for some departments, central government takes the authority. For some, state government, and some, they both get involved in the management. Okay, the legislation of India can be divided into union legislature and the state legislature. Okay, and again there is a one more division in the legislature. Okay, um, the union legislature makes laws for the people of the country. Okay, the Parliament of India, or Sansad, is the supreme law-making body of our country. Okay, so union legislature makes laws for the people. Okay, this particular branch makes laws and orders for the country, and the Parliament of India is the supreme law-making body, because that is why we have the ministers and all elected people. They are seated in the Parliament office. Okay, they take decisions and they make laws and everything for the benefit of the people. Okay, and here it is the body of the representatives whom the people of India choose to govern the country. The representatives make law for the benefit of the people. The Parliament of India has two houses. See, so we have selected some of the people. Okay, during election you will see, like we select sometimes the MLAs and sometimes the MP. Okay, these all people will go. Mainly the MPs will stay in the Parliament House. MLAs will stay in the state level governments. Okay, so these MPs they will go and work, and they will represent the people and make laws and good decisions for the benefit of the people. And it has two houses. Parliament House has two houses. One is Lok Sabha, okay, and next one is Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha, the Lok Sabha is a lower house of the Parliament of India. It is also called the House of the People. Okay, and this Lok Sabha is called, this is the lower house. Okay, it is called the House of the People. Okay, its members are directly elected by the adult citizens of the country. Okay, the adult citizen means above 18 years. Okay, and the Lok Sabha can have a maximum of 552 members. So how many members we should have in the Lok Sabha? So 552 members in the Lok Sabha. Out of these, 530 members are elected from the state, 20 from the union territories, and 2 members are nominated by the President of India. Okay, so how many members we select as a whole? We select 530 members from all over the state and 20 members from the union territories. Okay, we have 7 union territories. These candidates are selected from the union territory, and 2 members will be appointed or nominated by the President of India. Okay, altogether we will have 552 members in the Lok Sabha. Okay, the Lok Sabha has a fixed term of 5 years. After every general election, the old Lok Sabha is dissolved and a new Lok Sabha is formed. The Speaker is the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. Okay, so the Lok Sabha means it is a house for the people. Okay, and every 5 years there will be a team of people coming in and going out. Okay, and presiding officer is the main speaker. Okay, over there. And moving on to the next one, Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the Parliament of India. It is also called the Council of States. The member of the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected by the citizens of the country. The Rajya Sabha has a maximum strength of 250 members. 12 members are nominated by the President of India, and 38 members are elected by the members of the various states legislative assemblies. So we select how many people? Total we have 250 members in the Rajya Sabha, 12 members are nominated by the President, and 238 members are elected by the member of the various states legislation assemblies. Okay, a Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. It is so because it cannot be dissolved. One third of its members retire every 2 years and are replaced by new members. Every member of the house is elected for a term of 6 years. Okay, so here in the Rajya Sabha, it is almost like a permanent house, and it cannot be. It is because it cannot be dissolved. Okay, one third of the member retire every 2 years. So in every 2 years, we will have a members retired, and every member of the house is elected for the term of 6 years. Okay, the member of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are called member of parliament. Okay, these two house members are called commonly they are MPs, member of parliament. Okay, even it can be lower house or a upper house. Okay, the state legislature. Okay, first one we have seen is union legislature, and second one is a state legislature. Okay, and each state of the state of India has a state government. It has an elected legislature. However, each union territory is looked after by the central government. The state legislature can be unicameral, having one house, or bicameral, having two houses. The states which have a unicameral legislature have the legislative office only. The states which have a bicameral legislature have the legislative assembly as well as legislative council. This legislative assembly is also called Vidhan Sabha, and the legislative council is called Vidhan Parishad. The total number of the members of the state legislature depends upon the population of the state. Only seven states of India have both the houses. Okay, so here state legislature. Each state of India has its own state governments. Okay, each state has its own state governments, and each union territory is looked after by the central government. The state government has its own government, and the union territory is directly governed by the central government. Okay, and it can be unicameral or bicameral. Unicameral means having one house, bicameral means having two houses. Okay, so only in India we have only seven states of India have both houses. Like this is something like legislative council and legislative assembly. Okay, and and the next one, this is also called Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Okay, so two areas, and the total number of the members of the legislative depends upon the population. That is also depend upon the population. These houses are divided. Okay, the legislative assembly, the members of the state legislative assembly are directly elected by the adult citizen. Okay, and they are generally elected for the term of 5 years. The state legislative assembly is like the Lok Sabha. Its members are called members of legislative assembly, which means MLA. Okay, again it is something like a state government. So first we have learned about the central government setup, and it has two houses. Okay, lower house and upper house, and they all together they are called MP. And we have next one is state level governments. Okay, yeah, we call them as a member of legislative assembly, which means MLEs. So these people are also selected by the people, and that is also adult people above 18 years. And the legislative council, like the Rajya Sabha, the legislative council cannot be dissolved every 2 years. One third of its members retired and are replaced by the new members. The members are indirectly elected by the people of the state. Some members are also nominated by the government of the state. So here also we have one more thing. Like there we had in the central government we had two houses. One is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, the Lok Sabha is for the people, and the Rajya Sabha is a place where the main council or the decisions and are made up. Okay, the same way in the state level there is a legislative assembly and legislative council. Okay, and here also in the legislative council also there is a number of people get retired and replaced by the new members. Okay, almost in 2 years, once in 2 years, and the members are also indirectly selected by the people, and some people are nominated by the state government. Okay, functions of the legislature. What are the functions of the legislature? Make laws, control the finance, keep a check on the functioning of the executive. So these are the main three areas. Like what are the works? They make laws, and they control the finances of the state, and they look after the function of the executive. And executive. The executive is that branch of the government which executes or enforces the laws made by the legislature. The executive can be central or state. So executive means the people who are, implementing the task or the rules or the laws made by the legislating committee. Okay, and this can be the executive can be central government or state government. Okay, the union and central executive. The union executive includes the presidents, the vice presidents, okay, and the prime minister, the council of ministers, the civil servants, okay, and we have the central executives. Who all are the central executives? The president. First one is the president. President is the head of the state or country. However, he is only the nominal head. Authority and dignity are associated with the office of the president. The president is the first citizen of the country. He is elected by the members of the parliaments of India and the state legislative assemblies. The president is elected for a term of 5 years. The president lives at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The president has many important powers. Okay, the first one is union or central executive. First one is president. As we know, president is the head of the country. Okay, and he is selected by the members of the parliament, okay, and also state legislative assemblies, okay. And the second one is vice president. The vice president is the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha, okay, and a Rajya Sabha means it is a council of states, okay. He is also having a main office. Okay. Moreover, he performs all the functions of the president in the president's absence or when the office of the president falls vacancy temporarily. So he works as a president in place of president when he is absent. Okay, and next we are moving to the prime minister. Prime minister is the real head of the state or country. He is the head of the council of ministers. He and his minister work together as a team and are responsible to the parliaments of India. The prime minister has immense powers. He is the head of the political party which has won the election. Okay, next one is prime minister. So first we have seen about the president and second vice president and their rules, and then we have a prime minister. Okay, and he is also elected by the people. Okay, and he has the full authority over the country, and he has a team of ministers, and this team work together for the benefit of the people. Okay, and the council of ministers, it is the most powerful unit of the union executive. It has cabinet ministers, ministers of states, and deputy ministers. Every cabinet minister has a particular departments like finance, defense, etc. So, council of ministers. So, I have told you already. We have in the parliament we have two houses. One is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is called the council, okay, and we have a council of ministers. They are the most powerful people, okay, and they are the union executive, okay. They are it also has a cabinet ministers, means the ministers who take care of the some particular departments like finance and defense and all, okay. And the civil servants, these are the people who execute the policies framed by the cabinet. These people are government employees who do not belong to any political party. These includes the IAS officer, IPS officer, etc. So then we have civil servants. These are the people who execute the policies formed by the cabinet ministers. Okay, the cabinet. Okay, and these people are not belong to any political party, and they are qualified people like IAS or IPS officer. Okay, then moving on to the state executive. The state executive function at the state level. It enforces law made by the state legislative. It includes the governor, the chief minister. Okay, the governor of the state is the head of the executive of the state. Okay. However, he is the only the nominal head of the state. His position is of authority and dignity in the state. He is appointed by the President of India. A person can be a governor of two states. Generally, the governor has a fixed term of 5 years. Okay. So next we are moving to the next one. In the central level, we have how many offices? One is president, vice president, prime minister, then council member, ministers, and the civil servants. Okay, so almost we have five offices, and in the state level we have two main offices. One is government, a governor, and second one is the chief minister. Okay, the governor is elected and appointed by the president of India, and every governor can have the authority over two governments. Okay, two states, and generally the governor has a fixed term of 5 years, and the chief minister is the real head of the state. He is the head of the political party which wins the majority in the election of the state. He is the head of the council of ministers of the states. Okay, and this is the second level of body, and he is the head of the chief minister is the head of the council who makes the decisions and the laws and everything. Okay, moving on to the next one, judiciary. So first major first one is we will learn about the actually in the democratic of India in a democratic government we have three main wings. First one is legislature. So where we learned about the how the union list and union legislature, and under that we have learned about the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Okay, then state legislature, and it has also the two different houses like a legislative assembly and legislative council. Then we moved on to the executive area. Okay, executive. So who all are the executives? In the central we have five officers. In the state level we had two officers. Okay. Then moving on to the third major wing, that is the judiciary. Okay. The judiciary is the third and the last organ of the central and the state governments. It works is to interpret the law of the land. It works is to interpret the law of the land. It ensures the laws are properly followed by everyone. It punishes the people who break the law. There is a single integrated system of code in our country for the okay, and for simply for understanding we have a Supreme Court, High Court. Okay, and these judiciary, they are the main organ of the central and state governments. They work and interpret the law of the land. So they take care of the law and order area. Okay, and they have authority to punish the people who break the law. It can be anyone. Okay, and there is a single integrated system of the court in our country for the Union of India and the state. The system has a pyramidal structure with the Supreme Court at the apex, followed by the High Court and subordinate courts in the various states. The judiciary is the interdependent as it is not influenced by the legislature or executive wings. Okay, the judiciary system is a system, it works independently, so there is no influence by legislature or any executive people. Okay, it is having a pyramid system, like it has the high courts, subordinate courts, and of the various states. Okay, and first one is Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court of the country. It is in the New Delhi. It is functioning since 1950. Its decisions are binding on all and all apply to the whole country. The Supreme Court consists of the Chief Justice, and a number of other judges. It can have a maximum of 30 judges. The senior most judge at the Supreme Court is appointed as a Chief Justice of India. The judges do not have a fixed term of office like the president, the governor, etc. The judges hold the office till the age of 65 years. So here something very interesting, that the Supreme Court is the supreme authority of the entire country. Okay, it functions since 1950, and these rules and decisions apply to the entire country, whole country. Okay, and it consists of Chief Justice and other number of judges, and maximum number is 30 judges. Okay, and the senior most judge of the Supreme Court he is appointed as a Chief Justice of India. Okay, and they do not have a fixed term of office like a president or governor, but they can work up to the age of 65. Okay, then moving on to the High Court. The High Court is the highest court in the state level. So, according to our constitution, each of the 29 states should have a high court. However, some high courts have jurisdictions over two or more states, like the Supreme Court. A high court also has a chief justice and other judges. The chief justice of state is appointed by the president of India in the consultation with the governor of the state of that state and the judges of the high court. The number of judges in a high court differs from state to state. Okay, and the first one, see, the Supreme Court is the main court for the entire country. Okay, the final decision is taken, and the High Court is a state level court. Okay, so each state has every state should have a High Court. Okay, and it also has a jurisdiction like area of authority. Okay, some can have control over two or more states like a Supreme Court, a High Court, uh, like a Supreme Court. A High Court also has a Chief Justice. Just like a Supreme Court, we have a Chief Justice in the High Court also. Okay, and other judges also will be present there. And the Chief Justice of a state is appointed by the president. Okay, the state level justice are appointed by the president, and also the consultation with the governor of the particular state. Okay, the number of judges is high or low depend upon the number of people. Okay, and then we have subordinate courts. In every state, beside the High Court, there are a number of other judicial courts to administer justice. These courts are known as subordinate courts. So the subordinate courts are controlled by the High Court of the state. Some subordinate courts are civil courts, criminal courts, and revenue courts, and Gram Panchayat. Okay, and here the and also Lok Adalat. Okay, so these are the five different supporting courts, subordinate courts of High Court. Okay, because all the High Court cannot deal with every area, because we have different departments, like civil lines, civil areas are there. Okay, this civil court will take care of the and civil areas. Okay, like civil and criminal cases, and we have criminal courts that deals with the criminal cases of the district. Okay, and these criminal courts need to be confirmed by the High Court of the state. Okay, if death sentence of the criminal court need to be confirmed. Okay, these court cannot declare any death sentence. Only that is under the high court level. Okay, and they look after just their assisting or helping. And third one is the revenue court. Okay, this is related to land revenues. Okay, and all the revenue related cases are dealt by the revenue code. And we have gram panchayat. Okay, gram panchayat are also small law courts that deliver justice at the village level. Generally, 3 to 4 villages have a panchayat. Both civil and criminal cases are heard in panchayats. Okay, so we have panchayat level code, and here through some number of villages are gathered together and they have a court like system. Okay, and finally we have a log adalat. The log adalat aimed at providing speedy justice to the people, and that too at the very low cost. Generally, the retired judges presides over them. The first Lok Adalat was set up in Delhi in 1985. Okay, so generally we looked after the things like judiciary. In judiciary, we have two main areas. One is Supreme Court and High Court. Supreme Court looks after the general level, law and order of the country level, and second, the High Court looks after the cases of state level. Okay, and the High Court has 5 different subordinate courts, that is Civil Court, Criminal Court, Revenue Court, Gram Panchayat, and Lok Adalat. Okay, so these are the important areas about the democratic governments. Okay, so main area in democratic government we have 3 major wings. So that is the legislature, the second one is the executive, and the third one is the judiciary. So these are the main areas. And in the legislature we have state central government and state government. Okay, and in the executive also we have central ministers and state level ministers. Okay, and third one, the judiciary also we have a central Supreme Court and High Court. Okay, so this is the common understanding that we should have about our government. You got? Okay, you can go through the reading once again. Okay, and you find out new words. You can write the word meanings and you can learn it. Okay, fine. Then I'll do the book exercise in the next video.